I will talk a little bit about standardization and also how it should play and will play a role when we're talking about our digital ambition in the Municipality of Copenhagen. I will also try to talk a little bit about the business cases and also why the talk into building smart Denmark and why its relevance with the society also becomes important. Staying from Norway took a lot of my points, so I I make an excuse for that up here. So some of the points that he made I will also do again. So let's see if we can make it all fit together. So my name is Michael, and because I have to do this presentation in English, I need to change the spelling of my name. So I work at the Municipality of Copenhagen, and I've been here half a year. Before that, I spent 12 years at Copenhagen Airport, so that's why the two pictures stating my way of working the last couple of years. The department I'm at right now is handling and facilitating all the estates and building that Copenhagen Municipality is owning and also maintaining and operating. And we have the responsibility for the digitalization and the digital systems that goes beneath all that. And also the data governance regarding real estate data across all that. So I have about 30 dedicated people working on that, and it is a task that goes into more and more into working with facility data, and that is becoming also more and more complex since the demand for us delivering data information for various stuff is also increasing. So I also have a connection in Molio because I sit as the chairman for their owner and operator forum, and also at the Danish Building Society, the Digitalization group. So I'm also trying to get inputs from what happens around nationally, what's going on among all our mutual friends that is both here and also in these units. So going on a little bit about the facts that we are, well, it's a lease and facility services. We have about 2.6 square meters, and our ambitions with all this is actually just to create the best environment for both, 46,000 employees that we have in Copenhagen Municipality, schools, nursing homes, kindergartens, whatever. So of course the best environment for those people, but also those who are renting, both private company renting our facilities, but also all the sports facilities, what have you. So a lot of people are using our buildings every day. And funny, I just talked about this life cycle cost and the data for environmental and sustainability. And just look at this beautiful building over here, which is 400 years old. So when we talk about life cycle costs, we just need to expand the time frame, then we would all fit nicely into that. So if we could build for 400 or 500 years, then I think most of us would reach high on our sustainability level from the beginning. So that's also something we are talking about. So actually serving all this, and then in my department we are responsible for creating and handling the data that goes underneath all that. So what I'm supposed to talk about is also that we see all the time a reason for not doing anything, because we need to wait for the next great invention, or we need to wait for the thing to get finished, or a lot of other excuses that we can come up with. And in this case, it's something that, well, we are just about to be able to use the linked data, so let's wait for that. Or the digital twin, as we heard, is actually just around the corner. So when somebody has finished that, we can start working on IFC and build. Or it's a 6G or quantum computing that will solve the world, and we can wait for that also. But actually, what we see is that there's, when we just heard from Norway before, Sten was talking about, it is only the result of also having your data in a structured way now, and you have control about your data before you can take these steps. And also, when we look at the IFC, they are also moving. So it's not organization of just standing still. They are also finding new ways of using their software, their products. They are also moving the IFC towards new ways of defining the data foundation for that. So things are happening, and things are moving also fast in the IFC world and buildingSMART world. So when we talk about when is the time to just step into this, it's never, we actually run out of excuses, and we just have to start working on that. So that's what we're trying to do. And what I saw at the Copenhagen Municipality was that they were kind of waiting for this big enlightenment or something that should help them, the program that would fix everything, the database that contains everything. So now we just have to take our working clothes on and begin. And what they were also hearing when they talked about their friends in operation was that, and we talked to the construction companies, it's a problem that the management doesn't know what we are asking for. And where we could say that, well, 85% of what we are asking for is actually something we share with all the other building owners and operators. So a good starting point would just give us the same as you did on the project before that, and 85% would probably fit very good. I know it's a hard way maybe to say that, but so it's kind of also, let's rule out some of the stories that we are telling ourselves about what the problems are. If the asset managers is missing, well, there are actually ways of delivering data in a standardized way. And if you think Kobe maybe is a big to turn yourself into, then yeah, Excel will do. So we actually have tools for delivering. So even though you don't know what the asset managers want, or you don't know him, well, it is possible to create a very good digital delivery, even though. And then something that I've heard both present work and also when I was at the airport, that IFC is not working. Well, it is actually working, and it is an information exchange format. So when we talk as a building operator, if we hear that things are not, entities might be missing, or some points in the IFC file is not correct translated, we have to ask ourselves, well, is this something that has to do with operational data? Otherwise, I might live with that. So also, let's focus on the stuff that is actually working. Let's see what we have already achieved. So I think we've come a long way. It is actually possible now to get the IFC door, the parameters, linked to a photo, linked to a description, put it in Excel, deliver it out to Digitalization. So that is possible, we can do that. And that is just to say that we have a lot of the tools ready, so we should actually be able to do a lot of stuff for that. And that comes to another point. We have focus on all the data we can collect, and then we look at the digital handover where we see a lot of problems. And that's what I'm coming back to, one of the big projects we just turn ourselves into at the municipality. I don't know why it's a problem, because we have the ultimate guide. So, and we also have some software companies saying that they'll directly put it into the infrastructure, to the FM system for the building owners. So it shouldn't be a problem. We also have the IFC and the Kobe manual schemas, so everything is already in place. But I think one of the challenges that we see, at least, and also some of the problems we see, is that the FM system is not just some single stuff that we can put data into. Our FM system contains a lot of different solutions here for the owners and operators. So it's both, we have energy consumptions, we have rental costs, we need to send out bills, we need to do lease management, we need to track where the cameras are, we have the DMS to control the indoor environment, maybe different solutions for that. All these IT solutions is actually stuff that should be fed from our digital handover. So talking about an FM system is also something that we might need to rediscuss a little bit. And that means that the digital handover is not stopped when the project is finished. It actually stops when we have the data inside all these different kind of systems. So the good digital handover is not the same as a good implementation. So that's one of the things we're working with, and that is something that we think that our buildingSMART and our standards will help us a lot. So I just want to make a very simple way of addressing how the project is going on and where we see some of the problems. Already at the beginning, we as a building owner have a lot of demands that need to be fulfilled. That was also what was said from Sune from Norway. We have a lot of demands, and if you look at the different building owners around, at least also Denmark, I think that these demands are written in very various ways. So it's never the same. So every time we have a new project, these poor people who have to build, they see a list of demands that comes around with in various ways of doing that. So that's one of the problems. It's very unstructured, it's uneven, and for our, at least at Copenhagen, it's also unfinished. It's not everything we have in there, and we're not sure if we really mean what we're writing. This, when we take it inside the project, means that every time we have a project, they ask us to check something, and usually because maybe they didn't understand it right, maybe we didn't write it right, and this means that we have issues going back and forwards, checking each other to really find our way to get to the right level where we think we should be. This means that when we finally come over to the handout, to the delivery, also the as-built material is getting checked by us. And we might have adjustments because we might to regulate some of the ventilations, the cooling system, the heating systems need to be adjusted before we can finalize the as-built documentation. That might take a while, maybe a year, and then we are back to delivery. Then comes this very beautiful day where we get the fine package and everything, but also unstructured. Even though we have BIM, we also have a lot of other stuff. Vital decisions inside mails, pictures, Word files, and everything else. We got the package and we got the delivery, but that means that when we're talking about the FM list before, all these data needs to go into that long list of IT systems. And that's what we have a problem, because we are often asked very simple questions from our operating team, and we can't answer that because it's hidden in all these files and pictures and photos and everywhere. So that is something, simple questions that we are not about to ask. We can tell you the IFC model, we have the model, we can tell you how beautiful it is, there's no clashes, we can say what the pump number, but how stuff is linked together, it's no idea. So, and what we are facing also, maybe why this is a problem, the municipality, but also I think what's one of the things I experienced at Copenhagen Airport was a little bit of a time issue, and it shouldn't be an excuse, it's just to explain what was going on. And even though I shouldn't be having any pictures from China this time, I recently went actually to China, this is a couple of years ago, and they had a road construction there. So, but instead of really taking care of the traffic, they just closed the road and said we will open the next morning, and then they had to fix the road. So everybody was just, okay, now we sit here for a day. Fortunately, we were just 1 mile from the city, so we could just walk with our backpacks, but other rest was just stuck there. And it was just, I need to find a picture why that sometimes it's very difficult for us to just stop everything and then do some development or really getting into some new stuff. We have an operation that runs every day, every hour, and these people running the daily facilities, they don't have time to check and invest or do small innovation stuff that I think was fun. So another way of doing it actually, this issue could be that, okay, let's do something while we actually operate. Let's try something out. But what we find is that the people that we need to really do the check, they need to ask them both to work and buy the car at the same time, because it is the same people that have the knowledge. So we still have a little bit of a problem here. So kind of the excuses that we have is that it's really difficult for us to find the time to really go into doing innovation projects, to take the long road of investing time in people to change and to change with them and do these long digitalization projects. Fortunately, we also have I have a picture that's been shown, I think, a lot of times here. Now I also have it. Fortunately, we have this picture that I'm really fond of, because it tells us that our effort is actually needed. So we are needed here by ANC as an operational team. We are needed to provide information. We are needed to give some requirements. We have the obligation to actually receive and comment on it. So our work is needed, and our knowledge is needed, and we need to be better in addressing that on management level, and say we also need to have time to do this. We need to be better in communicating this, and we need to be better in getting involved and demanding that we get our place at the seat around the table when we talk about projects. So this I've created by myself. I'm very proud. This is actually just to tell you about this project that we have just undertaken. So I think it explains everything. What we are talking about is actually actually the same as we heard from Norway, but we would like to have a very structured way of putting our demands up. So, and we would like to do it in co-creation with other building owners and operators. So we actually can do it in the same way, put our demands out. This could give us the benefit that, of course, the demands were somehow similar, but also when we meet the projects, it would be easier for the projects to go down into this structure to find out if they really are compliant with what we are searching for, what we need. And we can maybe use our time to not discuss coordinate systems or missing entities, but some real problems that we need to fix. Maybe we even have time to do some innovation in the project. Maybe we have time that the project could ask our operational guys to, could we do this differently, provide new solutions for that. It would also be easier for in the delivery stage that we could check that the structure was held, so we get everything the way we would like it to be. This big structure engine that I put here is actually the engine that should put all these data into my different IT solutions. So we just started this project, initiated 1 week ago, got the funding. So this is basically what we're going to do. And why this is important is also because this structure here that I put inside all these different IT solutions, well, they come from various different providers of data. And we are changing them all the time. So today is time safe, and in a couple of years it's another product. And we are spending a lot of money and time in trying to get data inside these different IT solutions, and we would rather not do that. We would rather spend time in getting them into these functions and these information services that we have here. And having said that, a lot of the learnings that we have from that is actually going back into the structure again. So we need to learn from our operation and be able to put it back into the structure. So that is our small project about standardizing the digital delivery process. And now I have to switch to, you didn't see that. So there was one of the business cases. Actually, we are, as I said, a project business hand. I was spending a lot of time writing these demands. We actually had somebody calculated what the cost would be from the latest version of our demands, and then said it would be around 3% of the total cost of our projects, these new demands. And I said, what? So we have actually what can you say? We have an agreement that writing these demands actually costs excess to the project. And my vision here is actually that might be the truth right now, but if we see a couple of years, I would like to have that the other way around. So we are actually saving a lot of money by actually being able to write our demands and allowing for better input to these systems. And I don't know, and that's why I'm coming back to this building smart Denmark. I don't know, and if I should care about COVID dictionaries, should I read about what a data model is? How much should I use the ISO and stuff like that? That's something that we need to dig into. That's why I just put up this slide, and I was trying to create something that was not so much of a hallelujah statement, but it got a little bit like that, because does your organization evolve, and would you like to know the direction for the future? Yes. So that is building smart actually for our business, and we need to get involved with the building smart on this occasion. We need to demand that they help us provide these business, to help us with these business cases, to set us together with the right people, to get us in group with the international community about this. We should be on the same table as someone from Norway, who had some of the solutions. So we don't have to wait for everything. The software is here, the possibilities are here, but we need to be connected with people around the world in able to really do this. So my ambition is to also engage with Building Smart, but on the level where I would demand that they help me with the solutions. They help me find the right people. They help me put me around the right table. And if I do that, I'm not interested in maybe designing a new IFC standard, but I'm interested in the work that we can do together. So on the more strategic level, when I first came to Copenhagen, I saw, of course, that we were a data-driven organization, and I think most organizations have that statement somewhere in their strategic ambition. Now it's sustainability, but sustainability is also kind of data-driven, the way I see it. And also this movement towards predictive maintenance. So we are a lot of data-driven in this, and that's the product we are doing is highly based on having the right information level and information governance and data governance around it. So data-driven needs governance, it needs ownership, and what we are seeing at the moment is that organization, building owners in Copenhagen Municipality is two different departments. So we have the building owners over here and the operators over here, and they're pointing at each other saying, do you have the ICT program? No. Where are the demands? Why are they not fulfilled? So a lot of problems with this diverse way of talking to each other. And I think that if we build this more structure, we could maybe talk on the same page here. So that's something that we are looking into, trying to get a common language. And preferably, this would be a language that we could share with other people also here in Denmark and maybe abroad also. So just to conclude, standardization, yes, is a good thing, and we also have tools for it. We have the case, we have more cases, but at the end we need help. That is something that we're going to ask for, and something cool is about to happen with that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.